Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. So, here's the million-dollar question. Last night on the video, we talked about the initial potential rejection of the QQQs at the 200-day moving average. We talked about that 494.20s level. After I stopped the video, logged out, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes went by, and the overnight session rejected the Qs at the 200-day moving average. Now, again, it's one of those scenarios is asking the question, well, if it happens after hours, is it really happening? Yes and no, right? Yes and no. You can make an argument both ways. But last night, if you looked at where the Qs are trading, they were trading at 494.20s. And you woke up this morning, the Qs were red. So was that a proper rejection? Well, the scoreboard says yes, right? The scoreboard says yes. And when you look at the final numbers today, you got the NASDAQ down 2%. Here's where things get very, very interesting going into tomorrow, right? You don't want to, when you're a trader like me, I trade both sides of the market. So I usually have a very definitive opinion what I think is going to happen tomorrow. Whether it plays out that way or not, that's a different story. But at least I am very conscious of where I am. So one can make an argument, right? And I can make an argument on both sides here. One can make an argument that, you know what, we had a really, really terrific 3-day rally. The Qs went from 472, and in 3 days we went to 494 in the after hours. All today was profit taken. Okay, I could buy that, right? I could buy that. The other side of me turns around and says, well, wait a minute, right? Wait a minute. We all know history has shown us that even in the most aggressive sell environments, we do have days, 2, 3, 4 days of rallies. Again, all you need to do is go back to 2022 for reference. And at that point, we had really, really pretty aggressive rallies, and we still were down 35% on the Qs. That's the other side of the equation. And the other side of the equation is also telling me, well, wait a minute, okay? These 4 days, these 3 days of pretty aggressive good moves up, this was all done below the 200-day moving average, okay? So where is the excitement coming from? That's where we ask the million-dollar question. Is this just a simple profit-taking aggressive day on the previous 3-4 sessions that we had on strength? Or is this just a natural course of action, big, aggressive, dead cut bounce, 3 days into the 200-day moving average, and now we're going to continue to sell off as the original plan? Because again, if you remember here, and I think I made this as one of the examples yesterday, we actually rallied into the 200-day moving average and then sold off for the next 4 days. So if we got rejected, right? If we got rejected off of the 200-day moving average, although it was last night, well, is this going to be a start of something more aggressive, and we're going to start seeing back the lows? Again, to be determined, and this is why we talk about collect the data, collect the data, collect the data. That's the only thing you can do, and be prepared on both sides. The problem going into tomorrow's session on the bullish side is the biggest group that led us up, and you can make an argument, they led us up during the pandemic of 2020. They led us up in 2021, in 2023, and in 2024. That was the semiconductors, right? The semiconductors are by far the weakest group, absolutely by far, and they led us down today. And if you look at the NASDAQ 100, we managed to close right above the 5-day moving average, which on the surface, you can turn around and say, all right, that's cool, right? That's cool. So this was an orderly backtest, some profit taken the last 3 days. But now the question is, can it be more, right? And if it's going to be more, don't we need to concentrate on the weakest group? So let's say, for example, NVIDIA. right? For the last couple of days, all I kept on saying is, does this damn thing even know we're rallying, right? Obviously, super weak, right? Super weak, didn't participate. I even said last night, does it even have a pulse? I said that the night before, if it needs to, if it wants to rally, it has to fill in this gap and reclaim this shaft. I'm still giggling in my head, right? And the problem with all that is we got our answer very, very quickly today. NVIDIA definitely let us down. Not only did, when I mean let us down, I mean physically, literally leading us down. Not only did NVIDIA crack the previous day's 5 and 10-day support, it reclaimed, or excuse me, it confirmed this whole channel going back to March the 18th. March 18th, the low here was 114.54, and it got all the way down to 1270. It gave us a really, really good pivot today from the 415.4 macro all the way down to the 1270s. And now this is the lowest close in the whole formation. And if you are following, especially on the option side, they were peppering today. When I'm talking about peppering one after another, nonstop. 14, 15, 12, 13 weekly puts. I'm talking about nonstop. Next week's 105 puts. We saw some April 100 puts. I mean, they were really, really getting exaggerated with their betting, and there wasn't an uptick. If you realistically look at NVIDIA, except for the exception of the end of the day short covering, a little bit of short covering rally here, this is straight down. Guys, we didn't see a green candle till the last candle of the day to kind of, for people kind of flattening out. That's it. This is the first green candle in the whole session. And the question now is, well, if the market is going to come in tomorrow, we don't know, right? We don't know. I am definitely planning to see that, hey, if it's going to be leading us lower, it's going to be the semiconductor group. And I'll give you guys some setups for tomorrow. But if we are going to get another day lower, I mean, this is the group defined, right? This is the group defined. And again, it doesn't make a difference what in that group is your favorite stock or you like to trade. This is the obvious weakness. This is obviously the group that never participated, for the exception of AMD. And AMD got murdered today, right? For the exception of AMD, the group did not participate. And the question is, are we going to get a day two? Trump, I believe at some point at 4 o'clock is going to address the auto tariffs. Okay, I believe they were talking about a potential 20%. So he's going to address that. We still have the April 2nd deadline for tariffs as a whole. So that's over our head. And now the bulls and the bears have to play, well, buyers clean up sellers, we go higher. Sellers clean up buyers, we go lower. And this is the group, right? The semiconductors of the group. But let's use the SMHs as a proxy, okay? I'm not a big ETF guy, but the semiconductors are going to paint a picture. You see this 220 low here today, right? You see the 220 low? I usually like to give some prices for the ETFs on these nightly updates, right? Just because, again, it's not really a major thing in my life. You see this 220 low on the SMHs for today? Okay. That represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days worth of green candles, right? 10 days worth of buying and selling. So this candle engulfed 10 days worth. That's 2 weeks. If the SMHs tomorrow start building below the 220 area and close below the 220 area, we are going to have our day two. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind. If the semiconductors start to confirming down, all these stocks that were weak today are probably going to be very, very weak tomorrow. So let me give you guys some names. Obviously, NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is the top of the food chain. If it starts losing the bottom of today's channel, guys, look how much room you have. You have room all the way down to this 107, 108 area. Look at Avago. Avago, they were punishing this thing. We saw a bunch of 75s come in, a bunch of 70s come in, short-term expiration. Folks, Look how close this is. Guys, look how close this is to a macro breakdown going all the way back for 3 weeks. Man, this Avago is an inch away of giving back the 200-day moving average. That's a powerful looking potential breakdown. Look at ARM, right? Look at ARM. ARM also engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. Folks, 9 days putting its lowest close in this whole formation. If ARM starts building below today's channel, this thing is going to get hit as well. You can go through all of them, right? It doesn't mean it's not even just, it's not even just the semiconductor group. I mean, look at Amazon, right? Look at Amazon. Amazon had a great run, great 3-day run, stopped right on the 200-day moving average. You see it? Stopped right on the 200-day. Why is that important? It's a 200-day moving average, right? If you look at the low from today and look at the low from 2 days ago, it's exactly the same low. So if Amazon gives back the 200-day moving average, we're going to start selling off. Look at Google, right? And again, you could go through a million charts. I'm just giving you like 4 or 5 examples, right? Look at Google. Okay, Google today stopped at the 10-day moving average, right? 10-day moving average, gave up all the support here, the 20, the 5. It stopped right on the 10. Google has exactly the same scenario as Amazon. If Google gives up the 10-day, which is not as dramatic as the 200-day, obviously, but if Google gives back the 10-day moving average, well, this thing's going to start testing the recent lows as well. So there's a lot of names, right? There's a lot of names. Tesla, had a phenomenal run, right? Absolutely phenomenal run. Yes, they actually reclaimed the 200-day moving average. And again, you could turn around and say, look, Tesla rallied 50 points, not even 50, more than that. Tesla rallied from where? From 241 to 288 in 3 sessions. It was down 15, 16 bucks today. Is that the end of the world? No, for now, right? For now. It's got back again once below the 200-day moving average. So Tesla is one of those great areas here. Okay, is this just the natural pullback from its recent run up of the last 3 days, or is this, well, it's one of those names that just had a big rally into the 200-day, lost the 200-day, and now it's going to start resuming. Again, that is to be determined. But if you are a bull, it's a little bit sticky going into tomorrow's session. Okay, I'll be the first person to say it. I believe that you definitely have to be prepared on both sides, but the value, right? The value. I don't know if it's going to play out that way, but the value tomorrow are these semiconductor names, because if they do start losing today's channel, we definitely could have a big premium session part 2 of sell. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. If you love this video, if you love the content, if you support us, all I ask is click a like, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll continue to bring you value. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you on the field tomorrow.